This is how I turned this broken hutch top into the most stunning, beautiful display cabinet. The first thing I did was remove the inner shelves, and then I used my drill to remove some screws and things that I no longer needed on this hutch. As the top of it was really old and in bad condition, I wanted to build a new top. So I used my hammer and I hammered away and removed this top ledge. Once it was off, I tape closed the cabinet doors as they tend to swing open. I didn't want to break the glass. And then I got a measuring tape so I can measure this top and create a brand new one. I'm using 12mm thick MDF for my top panel. To attach it to the top, I used some heavy-duty wood glue, and I used an 18-gauge nail gun and nailed it securely back into place. I didn't need this thin piece of trim that was all over the piece, so I removed it. But then upon looking at the glass doors, I noticed a small piece was missing, so I repurposed it, cut it down with a rotary tool, and I popped it into place so it was a perfect fit. Then I went to the wood merchant and I got a nice thick piece of pine molding. I cut this down with my miter saw, and this is what I was gonna cover the top with to make it look more seamless and a brand new top on this piece. I attached it by wood glue and using my nail gun as well. When I was done, my new top looked like this and it looked beautiful. I used some wood filler and caulked around the edges where it meets so it would dry and I could sand it down really flush. It was now time to build a new base, so I removed the old broken base and I got out some pine 2x2s. I cut them down to 4 legs, 2 sides, and 2 front and backs. I used a Craig jig to make some pocket holes, and I built it in this sort of format and attached it all together with some screws. When it was all done, my new base looked like this. To give it more of an updated look, I used a jigsaw and cut the legs at angles just to slant them a bit and not make it look like I just built it out of some scrap wood, which I did, but I wanted to look a bit more custom. And this was the top and the legs and it was all together. I then prepped this piece for painting, so I sanded down and I chose the color Sandbar to paint the inside of this cabinet, which is a gorgeous neutral. And for the outside, I used some liquid mask. This is basically like liquid tape, so you paint it around the edges that you don't want to get paint on, and then you can paint right on top and then scrape it away once it's dry. For the exterior of this piece, I chose the color Cactus, and it's a gorgeous greeny sage. As for the base, I mixed 2 paint colors together with some water, about a 50-50 ratio, to create a paint wash. And this is what I used to stain the wood on the base to give it a little bit more of a tint. Going back to the original wooden shelves, I sanded those down raw, and then I used some clear wax to reseal them up. Once I was done, I popped those back inside, and this is the final look, y'all. I think this is so beautiful. It's really cozy. I love the original glass on this. What do you guys think about this hutch top turned into a display cabinet?